Good morning, you lovely, lovely people. Welcome to a lovely, beautiful Tuesday morning. As you know, if you saw my live yesterday morning, my wife had the dreaded Tampo. I call it sulking, but apparently there is a difference. But anyway, she had Tampo because on Sunday night, my son was playing on his bike with a friend, and I was out here where I'm sat now. My friend was just sat opposite. We're having a couple of drinks. And my wife was on a cell phone, right? Cell phone, playing a stupid game. And my son fell off the bike and he hurt himself. So I said, "What's going on?" I said, "Mira, our son's 4 years old. You should be watching him a little bit more." So of course that put her in a Tampo, didn't it? And there was a few more words said after that from her and from me. So yesterday, and bearing in mind, people, I normally take full advantage of Tampo. I normally take full advantage of it, meaning I normally just go out, and I see my mates and that, But yesterday I couldn't go out, so I was stuck with it, wasn't I? I was stuck here. I had to do a bit of work, so I couldn't get out of the house. So I thought, oh, God. So I said, do you want to go to Pinion? And she went, like that, like that. I thought, oh, here we go. I said, do you want me to go to Pinion and get you something from the culindaria, whatever you call it, where you get the dinner, like that again. I thought, man. So I did go to Pinion, and I thought, I can't put up with this. So, as I said, normally I take full advantage and I go out for the day, and time I come back, she's all right. But yesterday, I couldn't, so I went to Pinion, and I'm going to show you. It doesn't look good, but I bought her that, just for you, right? And, and I brought it back, and I said, here you go, love. And she looked at it, and I thought she was going to do that bit again, but she didn't. She looked at it, and she said, thank you. All done. And this cost me, the biggest of the spending. I think that cost 50 pesos in the local shop. It worked, and she come out of it. And but as I said, I wouldn't worry too much about Tampo if I didn't have to stay in the house. But yesterday I had to stay in the house, didn't I? So I couldn't put up with it. And she's in there now. She's doing the washing in the bathroom. She's laughing. Well, she's smiling at me anyway. But it's a Filipino trait, isn't it? Filipino trait. They expect you to always run to them and say, I'm sorry, love. Which I did yesterday. I did. And I never do that normally, especially if I'm not in the wrong. Which is not often. I'm always in the wrong, to be honest with you. I'm always in the wrong. But anyway, it's all forgot about now. It's all forgot about. Well, changing the subject a little bit, in fact a lot actually. It's gone from that to this. When I went, I think that was Sunday as well. I think it was Sunday. When we did go out and we passed a gasoline station in the taxi, because I'm not driving my car till I get the steering rack, which I will get at the end of the month. I noticed that the petrol prices and the diesel prices had dropped. Like it was 150, I think, or 149. It went to 135 for diesel. Fuel was 98 or 99. It went to 92. I thought, oh, great. When my car gets fixed at the end of the month, good. Because I think of the ceasefire, the unofficial, without the signatures, ceasefire. But then after that, because the talks fell through, and President Trump is going to blockade the strait, it's going to go up again, isn't it? I thought, it was a small reprieve. But I think now, people, it's going to go through the roof. I mean, it's through the roof now, but I think it's going to dramatically. And in this little barangay, we've been getting a lot of brownouts lately. Unscheduled brownouts. There's no notifications, and I didn't. My wife last night saw the guy from Danico, one of the guys who works in Danico. He lives down here, very close to where I live actually, which is why it's good if there is a brownout. His wife phones him, and he gets in touch with the Danico people who are in this area, and they normally get it back on. But last night, apparently, there was no incidents here, so maybe they are starting to give us a brownout for a couple of hours. And it seems to be the same time here. It seems to be at the same time. Sunday night it was 6 o'clock. Last night it was 6 o'clock. And it's off for 2 hours at a time. So maybe. And I've looked on the internet and it says, no, there is no a rotational brownout at the moment. But maybe there is, and they're just not notifying people. I don't know. But there's something going on, I think. People, I had to go around to that mechanic's house. And I did yesterday, right? And this was one of the reasons that I didn't go out and take full advantage of the Tampo situation with the wife. I went round to the garage who did my car. Because I festered on it a little bit. And I didn't want to kick up like a big stink and cause any trouble for myself. But I just went round there. And I said to him, did you take my steering? I said, it's okay if you did. It's okay if you did. I said, I don't understand why you did it. But he said, no, sir, I didn't. And I said, well, it must be Mr. Nobody then. And he said, where's your car? I said, it's in the house at the moment. I said, I can't drive. I said, it's banging and knocking and everything. And I said, you can get hold of one wheel and you can wobble it like that. And you can see the end of the steering rack moving inside where the bush has gone, inside the rack. He said, no, sir, I didn't. And the car, the multi-cab that was there at the same time as mine, that's gone. And I just, and you want to say something because I know he did. But you can't. This is the thing. You know that you're in the right, but you can't really make a scene because of what might happen. And it's things like that does get on my nerves here a little bit, a lot actually. If you're in the wrong here, fair enough. But if you're in the right, you're still in the wrong. It's like having a motorcycle accident or a car accident or anything like that. You're immediately accused of being in the wrong. And this is what I say to my wife sometimes. I say, and she agrees with me, but she knows how it is here. She knows how it is, and the local people know how it is, with foreigners. And, to be taken advantage of, and a lot of us do get taken advantage of, with this, what they call it, skin tax and that. I mean, I don't mind paying a couple of pesos extra, but I don't like it when it's just blatantly done, actually blatantly done, like that steering rack. But I feel, I felt like saying, if I was a Filipino, that wouldn't have happened. That's what I felt like saying to him, but I didn't, because where his workshop is, all of his family live there. I mean, all of his family, and you can see they all look alike. I mean, look alike to the fact that you think, how can they all look alike? That's not his sister, that's not his brother, but they look like they are. You know what I mean? Don't know, but it does get on my nerves sometimes. And there was one time I was in the fish market. And this was a while ago, and it was early morning, and I was getting some sardines for fishing, only for fishing. And there was a guy in front of me, and he got some, and it was 60 pesos. That's what he paid. There was no price indication by the fish, so you had to ask. And I saw him pay 60 pesos. He pulled a 50 pesos out and a 10, give it. And I said, how much? And he said 80. I said, no. I said, he was 60. And he said, no, sir, they're 80. I said, no, it doesn't matter. I said, I'll go to that one. They said, no, 60 pesos. I said, no, it doesn't matter. They do try it on. I think they do in all parts of the world anywhere. But, when you're living here, it can, what if you go on holiday somewhere? It's bad, but it does happen, especially by cabbies and things like that, But here, and what I hate about here, and I do hate it, is here in Pinion, there are no beggars, and there is no beggars here. I'm saying there is a couple of people, there are two people who are, what shall I say, maybe a little bit, disabled, and I always give them something because they never ask. One sits outside of a shop, and he just sits there, never asks for anything. And I, if I go in the shop, I've got some change, I will give him some change. But in Dipolog, oh God, they just at you. They at you, and even in McDonald's, outside of McDonald's, and I don't know why McDonald's doesn't do anything about it. You'll be eating your dinner in McDonald's, and they in the window looking at you. In the window, just looking at you through the window. It's getting a bit windy. It's nice actually. It's a nice bit of breeze in this hot weather. They're just looking at you. And you know what's going to happen. As soon as you go outside, they're going to be on you straight away. I don't give them anything no more. I don't, because one, it's illegal to do it. I think it's illegal to beg. I think, I'm not quite sure, but I know it's definitely illegal for people to give them money. And they could look at it as well as if you're conditioning them or something. When you give them money, you just don't know. So I don't get involved in all that no more. And it's just everywhere in Dipolog. It doesn't matter where you go these days. And I said to Mary, I'm pleased I don't live here. I said, it would do my head in. When I did live in Dipolog, it was like that, but not as bad as what it is now. There were about 9 or 10 kids outside there. And I think that was Saturday who was there. I thought, Mary, I can't deal with it. I just can't deal with this. And no matter where we went, because we wasn't driving, because the car not being fit and able to be taking that on the road, especially with the family in the car, we were walking a lot. And no matter where we went, there's people there. It's mainly kids. And they quite rude when they do it. They like laughing and, give me money. That's what one of them said to me, give me money. And I said, no, you give me money. And then, Mira said, no, like to them, no, and kind of go away in her language sort of thing. Dilly laggy, like don't do that, dilly laggy. And I'm like, why do these, especially McDonald's, there is a security guard there. And I feel like saying to him sometimes, and he knows me, I feel like saying to him, why do you allow that? But I don't, I keep my gob shut. But I don't know, I'm pleased I don't live in the city. And this is, I know many of you people who live in the cities, you will experience that. But here, when you're in these little provinces, you don't experience it. And I tell you what I've experienced as well. I think because it's a big city, Dipolog is, it is quite a big city, not in comparison to other cities, but it is quite big. And it seems to me, because it's a fishing village, right? It's on the, it is, there's lots of fishing boats there, and they go off fishing, and it's normally those kind of kids. They all down there, and they all go up to Dipolog in the daytime when the people are going shopping. And I was told by my wife that many of the parents actually send them there. They actually send them there to do the begging, to take the money back. I think that's absolutely terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible. I mean, I understand that people are worse off than us. I understand that, but as foreigners, we can't help the world, can we? Especially when we are not rich ourselves. We can't help the world. And I was one of these people where I was like that. Oh, you want to change the world? You can't. You simply can't. And when you've been here for a long time, it kind of grinds on you. There is some things that grind on you. Tampo is not one of them. I will admit that, because as I say, I normally take full advantage of Tampo. But yesterday when I said to her, do you want to go to Pinion and we'll get something to eat? She did. It was like that, and so now that's what I do to her now. That's what she's lava. Yeah, so that's what I do to her now. She said to me this morning, "Do you want coffee?" I went, that's my new thing. Oh dear me, I'm like a kid. I never get sulky. I get like a bit pissed off sometimes, but I don't sulk. I just vent my opinion, and that's it. It's done and dusted. It's finished. It's over and done with. But no, not here. Even if you upset the local people, it stays in there. It stays in there. You might say a wrong word to the local, to like a local person, and he won't forget that. They don't forget. That being said, people, got to go now. My wife's got to go. She's finished off that washing, I think, and then we've got to go to the clinic. She's got to have an injection. I don't know what the injection's for, no idea, but you've got to have that at the clinic down here, the antenatal clinic. And then where are we at now? Oh, in October there, no, April. So at the end of April, we go for the scan. We go for this, oh God. But Mira said she doesn't think the baby's moved because she can feel the kicking right down by the genitalia area, right down there, and that's the foot. So we don't think the baby's turned around as yet. I'm a bag of nerves, people. I am. I'm a bag of nerves. Every day I think about it. And because I keep saying to Mira, where are you feeling the kicking? She said, same place, Stephen, same place. I said, it hasn't moved. Yeah, It's just me. Anyway, people, I'm over and out. thank you for taking the time to listen to me and to watch my lives and to always support the channel like you do by coming and by returning and watching. And take good care, people. God bless you all. Bye bye. Oh, let's hope that these fuel prices don't raise any more than what they have. Over and out.